क्या मुर्दों को दोबारा ज़िंदा किया जा सकता है? ये ख़्याल इंसानों के जहन में हज़ारों साल से है, लेकिन अब अमेरिका समेत पूरी दुनिया में ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी आ रही है जिसके ज़रिए लोगों में ये उम्मीद जाग रही है कि वाकई में ऐसा हो सकता है। मेरे पीछे जो आप बड़ी बड़ी टैंक्स देख रहे हैं, इस एक टैंक में इस वक्त तकरीबन 6 मुर्दा लोगों को रखा गया है, उनकी बॉडी को फ्रीज़ किया गया है, इस उम्मीद के साथ कि आने वाले सालों में ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी आएगी कि इन बॉडीज़ को दोबारा ज़िंदा किया जाएगा, लाइफ में दोबारा वापस लाया जाएगा। और ये कोई रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट या कोई हाई लेवल रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट नहीं है, बल्कि आम इंसान, मेरे और आप जैसे इंसान खुद वॉलंटरली इन ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूट्स में अपने आप को रजिस्टर कर रहे हैं, पैसे दे रहे हैं, मेंबरशिप्स ले रहे हैं ऐसी जगहों की जहां पर उनके मरने के बाद उनकी बॉडी को फ्रीज़ किया जाता है, ख़ास प्रोसेस से गुजारा जाता है, अगेन इस उम्मीद के साथ कि उनको फ्यूचर में कभी ज़िंदा किया जाएगा। मैं इस वक्त अमेरिकी रियासत मिशिगन के ऐसे ही एक क्रायोनिक्स इंस्टीट्यूट में मौजूद हूँ। क्रायोनिक्स उस टेक्नोलॉजी का नाम है जिसके ज़रिए इस प्रोसेस से गुजारा जाता है। मैं पहले आपको इस फैसिलिटी का टूर देता हूँ, किस तरह कोई भी इंसान की बॉडी को यहाँ से गुजारा जाता है, किस तरह इस टैंक में रखा जाता है, और फिर यहाँ के लोगों से बात करते हैं कि किस तरह ये टेक्नोलॉजी चल रही है, कितने पैसे लोग दे सकते हैं और अपने आप को रजिस्टर करा सकते हैं, और इस टेक्नोलॉजी से क्या उम्मीदें वाबस्ता हैं। इस वक्त जिस फैसिलिटी में मैं मौजूद हूँ, यहाँ पर कम से कम 200 लोगों की बॉडीज़ को प्रिजर्व करके रखा गया है, और इसके अलावा कुछ लोगों ने तो अपने पालतू जानवर यानी पेट्स को भी यहाँ पर फ्रीज करके रखा हुआ है। पूरी दुनिया में सिर्फ क्रायोनिक्स इंस्टीट्यूट के तकरीबन 2000 से ज़ायद मेंबर्स हैं, और इनमें अक्सरियत की तादाद अमेरिका और कनाडा में मौजूद है। ये वो लोग हैं जो अपनी मौत का इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं, और जब भी उनकी डेथ हुई तो इन मेंबर्स को फौरी तौर पर ऐसे किसी एक फैसिलिटी में लाया जाता है। क्रायोनिक्स इंस्टीट्यूट के अलावा भी अमेरिका में कई ऐसे इदारे हैं जिनके अपने मेंबर्स भी हैं, और वो भी मुख्तलिफ तरीक़ों से इस टेक्नोलॉजी को परस्यू कर रहे हैं। जब भी इनके किसी मेंबर की डेथ होती है तो उसकी बॉडी को फौरी तौर पर ऐसी किसी एक फैसिलिटी में लाया जाता है, और फिर बुनियादी तौर पर 3 से 4 स्टेप्स के दौरान उस बॉडी को गुजारा जाता है, जिसके बाद उसे फ्रीज किया जाता है या प्रिजर्व किया जाता है। वो स्टेप्स कौन से हैं, आइए अब वो देखते हैं।
Once you arrive here, you'd be placed on the operating table. The pump over there is a perfusion pump, and what they do is the blood is removed from the body, and a cryoprotective solution is circulated through the body, and it's absorbed into the tissues, and it's exchanged with water. Water comes out, blood comes out, and the cryoprotectant stays in the body, and that limits the freezing damage. In the brain, it does an excellent job. It reduces it, it eliminates it, and that's what we do. We don't want freezing damage. We don't want ice crystals, because that damages cells. So the perfusion takes place. It takes a couple hours usually to do a perfusion, and when the body is done being perfused, it's usually probably about 8 degrees below Celsius. Okay. 8 below, because
so that's done here.
Right, and the chemicals we put in, like the final concentration, they go in at -20, but they don't solidify till under -80. So that's how we can pump them through.
Finished here. Once the body's finished here, then what happens?
Then they're put in a computer-controlled cooling unit, which I can show you back here, and that it uses liquid nitrogen, and it hits a spray bar. It's computer-controlled, so the program is set to run automatically. And it takes 5.5 days to cool them down from the temperature when they come out of there, which is -8, -10 maybe, down to -196.
So for 5.5 days, the body is kept here.
Correct. And then that's the controller there. That line goes out the back. We have a 3,000-gallon bulk tank of liquid nitrogen. The nitrogen comes in. When the program calls for cooling, the nitrogen gas sprays over it. When it's cold enough, it just stops.
Once they get done here, then what happens?
They're put in one of the cryostats.
Which is?
Well, we've got different types. This one holds 14 people. That one holds 10. And that one there holds 7. Those are the earlier versions. What we found with rectangular units is they're very expensive to build because the ribbing has to support all of the pressure because there's a vacuum in them.
So right now, behind you, we have 14 people inside.
Right.
Okay.
And what we're using now is 2 different types. We've got the fiberglass ones you can see over there, the tall cylinders upright. They hold 6 patients each.
The round ones?
Right.
Yeah.
This one here, this is a stainless steel. The fiberglass ones they call cryostats. The stainless steel ones they call doers.
Okay.
It's just a difference in names.
Okay.
And this one is very similar to that little guy over there that has tissue samples in it. It's just a lot bigger. Mm-hmm. And this one will hold at least 8, probably 10 if depending on the size of the people. We've been using fiberglass ones for many years. We're getting a lot more patients. We need more storage capacity. We wanted to try the stainless steel ones, so we're starting to get, we've got orders for fiberglass ones also,
Right.
but we're going to use both of them.
And your facilities, so that's sort of the final destination for them,
Right,
the tanks.
right.
And
This one, all the fog you see coming out of it, that is not normal if they're in service,
Okay.
but it's normal because I'm loading it. We just got this one, I think 3 days ago or so, so I'm just filling it with liquid nitrogen to test it. So as that nitrogen's filling in there, it's turning into gas. You see the gas is coming out. Once it's filled up, everything's cooled down. It's going to be like any one of these. You're not going to see fog coming out
So
of it.
what is this one for?
That's for pets.
That's for pets.
It's
So
a-
you store animals too.
Right.
Okay.
That's the same. It does the same. It's got the same controller. It does the same thing as the other one for humans, just for pets. It's smaller.
So once they come here, you don't know how long you're going to keep them in this, because they're going to be kept here until there is some kind of technology to revive them,
Right.
to bring them back to life,
Right.
right? So could be 10 years, 50 years, 100 years.
10 years is very generous. 50 years is probably pretty generous. 100 years, 200 years is more reasonable, but you don't know. But sometimes when they start making advances, them advances can really go faster, a lot faster than
yeah,
you think.
yeah.
But our intentions are to keep them here until science can figure out how to cure what they died from, reverse that, and reverse any kind of freezing damage, and then restore them.
I was talking to you earlier and looking at all of this, and some people may see it and say, hey, you're storing all these people with hopes of sort of reviving them. I know we talked about you sometimes raise many eyebrows to people, don't like the fact, and they think that you are playing God. Do you think you're playing God?
No. No, sometimes people say you're playing God. Well, doctors play God. A murderer plays God, I guess, if you want to look at that way. He kills somebody, he takes his life. That's not his job to do. He has no business doing that. We're just trying to give people a chance to possibly live longer, extend the life you have. One of the things about cryonics that I think a lot of people make mistakes about is they think you're going to raise the dead. That's not the intention. When it's done properly, you're freezing somebody who's not entirely dead. It takes time for cells to die. You could decapitate me, but my cells would still live for a few hours until your body depletes all the oxygen in the blood and stuff. So, done properly, if you've got a bedside standby, that person is cooled down, the cooling slows the metabolism, the blood is replaced with the organ preservative solution, so then they're brought here, perfused and frozen, so you're freezing something that still has living tissue and living cells in it. So that is the intention. So you're not raising something dead, you're just trying to stop death from completely occurring, and then reviving them.
If somebody wants to do this, what's the process to register with you or someone else in the U.S. generally?
Well, the process, first thing you have to do is become a member, because we're a membership organization and we only serve our members. So you'd have to purchase a membership. That's easy. You go on the application, on the website, download an application, complete it, send it to us with your membership fee. We'll then prepare your personalized documents. You sign that. That's the contract between you and us. You provide funding for a contract. Most people pay by making us a beneficiary on their life insurance policy. Some people have a IRA or 401k. They can put us as a beneficiary on that. For somebody who's considering doing this, if you really want to do it and get your paperwork in place, get your arrangements in place. Don't keep anything from your relatives. Let them know what you're doing, whether they like it or not, because those are the things that will slow things down and your process won't go nearly as good.